let's do an exercise here, bud.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go with this extreme opposite.
Yeah.
Show him that clip.
Right.
Show him this woman. Look at this Korean woman from the hood.
Biggest Korean I ever seen.
You've been going in there almost 2 hours. I've been calling since I've been here.
Might be stopped up. What's wrong with the house phone? You rush a man out the restaurant.
No, Jonathan, I've been here since 8 o'clock. Look at it, got them 9:30. You till 8 to 9:30, he ain't got there. Shit.
Good.
No, he's not in the bathroom. No, he ain't in the bathroom here. 2 hours? Hey, shit.
Wait, watch when she calls.
Rocky, call me. I've been calling you. I don't know where you at. Shit. That motherfucking ass was probably in the fishes. Shit.
I love her.
Yeah,
I love her.
I love her.
Motherfuckers out there fishing and shit.
Yeah. But what was the exercise?
What is it?
We'll just talk about something completely different.
What do you want to talk about? Bring
Mrs.
it
Kim
up.
in the hood.
What?
That's Mrs. Kim in the hood. They said she makes the best collard greens. Oh, you want to talk about butterflies, buddy? You know this guy.
Yeah. All right. So I was before the hurricane. I've been out on my patio and just in the sun.
Sure.
Right. There's a lot of butterflies out.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I realized is that butterflies, they fly together and they do a dance.
Oh, they're mating.
Is
You
that
brought
what it
back
is?
sex, dude.
When they're flying in tandem, they're mating.
What did you do?
Yeah, you brought it right
We
back.
were not supposed to talk
Oh,
about
shit.
sex, and you're over here birds and bees in
How
this?
do you know? Couldn't that
Because
be
why
their-
are they flying? Were they in an aerial
Couldn't
show?
they be in their own Studio 54, like
No.
boom, 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 and they're just fucking dancing?
And what did they do at Studio 54? They danced so they could go fuck. I see what you're saying.
Oh fuck, you're right. Okay, let's talk.
Taking the air out of my chair, dude.
Okay.
Look at them fucking, dude. That's butterfly porn.
They do fuck
butterfly.
then, butterflies?
Everything does, buddy.
Dude, one of my favorite moments ever.
Like a dad.
One of
they
my
do?
favorite
Everything
moments.
fucks, little guy.
yeah.
Seventh grade, the toughest kid in my neighborhood, David Clark.
It's always first name, last name. David Clark.
He would always talk shit to the teacher. We were in Mr. Coons' science class.
Jeez.
And he, first off, got kicked out one day for just putting he got bored, so he started putting Carmex on his shaved head.
No.
Yeah, he goes, I thought it'd be funny. And then one day, he was like a big kid.
Yeah.
This is before he got sent to military school. He's just sitting in science class, and he goes, hey, Mr. Coons, we were learning about mosses, the moss and stuff. He goes, hey, Mr. Coons, how do mosses fuck? Like that. And everyone was like, and he's like, get the hell out of here. And we were like,
Legitimate question.
legitimate science question. And
Yeah.
he was saying that. He was leaving. He goes, I'm sorry, that's a science question. That technically is a science question. And I
Sometimes
really,
those kids-
as an adult, I'm like, if you phrased it different,
Yeah.
it's a great
You'd
question.
have stayed in the class.
Yeah.
But that's a story of our whole lives. Guys like us was like, man, you should have just done it the different way. I know what you were trying to do, but
Yeah.
that's why you think you're funny.
Could I
because
tell
you
you-
always go the other way.
Because he kicked him out, and then he went, now, reproductive-wise. And you're like, so you're going to answer the question. You got, he asked an honest question.
You just have to get there the right way. That was the thing. I could never do that in school.
Me neither.
That's why us guys. That's why comics.
Yeah.
We always were trying to find the tricky, funny way to do the thing to get away with it. Because even though we knew we were
Yeah.
smart enough to go, I know this is going to get me in trouble, but it's going to be great. And then I'm going to tell my parents, I just drew a dick and gave it to the health teacher. It was just a dick. They gave us pictures of dicks.
I got suspended in 7th grade because we were learning about onomatopoeias and acronyms. And I was just doing like wild onomatopoeia acronyms, like splat, and I would like write out like a crazy shit, and my teacher was like, "What is this?" It was like aliens barfing on this. I was just like, "Ooh-ah," and I like write this like crazy ass shit, and they were like, "We gotta suspend you. You can't be writing that." And then my mom was like, technically you did the assignment correctly.
Yeah, you did it.
Like,
yeah.
What do you want me to do, lady?
so can I play Nintendo 64 or not? Are you going to take it out of the basement, or can I go downstairs and play Nintendo 64?
I definitely still lived in the basement, by the way. It was the only place. The Nintendo 64 couldn't get on a second floor.
No,
Had to stay lower level.
yeah,
That's subterranean games.
And I had to stay deep in a cave.
That's what we did when we played. For some reason, when we all played like games like that, like when we played 007 and shit, it was always in the dark. We would always turn off all the lights for no other reason than it was like made me feel like we were more in it.
That's what you grew up with. I grew up with Intellivision.
Well, you're fucking 52.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
Well, you had a
like, I
Atari.
remember when Pong was happening.
Yeah, that
I
was like your
we're in
guys-
the future.
I mean, yeah, Santino and I were seniors in high school when PlayStation 2 came out.
Wow.
Which you were like, this fucking rules.
Tecmo Bowl was a huge thing.
Ooh, I still
I mean,
play Tecmo Bowl.
we liked Tecmo Bowl, but we had the advancement from your generation to ours was insane.
I mean, you guys were literally playing Tecmo Bowl, and we were playing NCAA college football, which you could then take your guy and move him to Madden.
Yeah.
You had there was like a whole world you could play
you
through
could
EA
transfer.
Sports.
I had a kid in high school.
It's in the game.
In elementary
It's in the game.
school. He had it in television, and there was an RPG, but the RPG was a dot.
Yeah.
So that was your character, right?
Oh, my God.
And there were just walls, right? He goes, hey man, I'm in a dungeon right now. I was like, holy fuck, you are, right? And he goes, check this out. And he put the dot against this line, and he hit it a couple of times. He goes, it's a secret room. It was just another little square.
That's so funny.
but it was a
You're
secret room.
I know,
wasn't
but
it?
I was like mind-boggled.
What the
Is there a
fuck?
dragon in there? You know what I mean? But it's insane that you guys grew up with Nintendo.
Yeah. I remember when I was
64.
little, Game Boy came out, and I got a Game Boy for my birthday, and my dad was trying to outdo my mom. So he's like, yeah, I bought you a bunch of games. And I was like, let's go. But he bought me Nintendo games.
Oh, damn.
Because he thought they went into the game. And I remember taking Mario Brothers 3 and my Game Boy and going, see? And my dad's like, all right, I got
It's
it.
got to be an adapter or something like
That's
that.
exactly what he said.
such
He's
a
like,
dad.
Did you guys ever play that Snake game on the Nokia?
Oh, my God,
All
yeah.
the time.
See, here's the thing.
that
We
game
we
was-
can go back and play all your games. You can't go forward and play
That's
all our
right.
games.
What do you mean?
Our games are too advanced. 'Cause we grew up with them.
Oh, dude, I'm advanced.
Look at him now.
I saw your whole brain act.
I
There you
think,
go.
I think the
It's a
game that
challenge.
shocked me the most, like visually, that I was so into, Doom on PC was
crazy.
fucking
Dude,
crazy.
that one.
Doom
On PC, because I
So,
was like,
if you remember the
so immersive.
the original game Doom was like it was Duke Nukem, but also
Get some.
Spear of Destiny.
yes,
And my fucking Big Dick Nick,
big dick.
my
Nick.
stepdad was super into computers, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to play this game called Spear of Destiny?" And I was like, "You're shooting Nazis?"
Wow.
And he was like, "Yeah." And I remember him loading that up on the computer, and me being like, "Am I allowed to touch this computer? This is very advanced." I fucking loved it.
I love
dude.
that, and then I love Turok, Dinosaur Hunter.
Turok.
Turok was fucking rad. You didn't know any of those games.
I didn't know
did you?
anything about it.
Man, I
Oh,
used to love
and
that.
then GoldenEye comes out, and you're like, "Let's
Well, that
go."
changed the game
and then
forever.
Perfect Dark.
That was
Yeah.
Turok, Dinosaur Hunter.
Turok.
Wow.
Turok shit was fucking.
Six-
Look at the cover. Zoom in. Look at how dope that cover is.
So, yeah,
Amazing.
64 was for me the game changer. It was Nintendo
Yeah,
64.
Nintendo 64 did do everything for me.
Nintendo 64, even the first Mario, you're like, that's the future.
But see, could they pitch that today? Him stabbing a dinosaur in the throat, like
That's that new Adam Driver movie.
what?
74,
65.
65. That's Turok Dinosaur Hunter.
Ariana
They just-
Greenblatt's in that.
Yeah, they just did that movie where they're like, what if Adam Driver fights dinosaurs?
That's sick. They just, by the way, I just saw a preview for a movie that's going to come out about GameStop, the GameStop Bitcoin.
I
thing.
heard it. I heard Paul Dano's in it.
Yeah,
and I heard
he's the
it.
star.
I heard it fucking rips.
I mean, it looks amazing.
One
I
of
saw
my
the
friends,
preview.
one of my friends saw a screening of it and said it fucking.
It's about the GameStop, to the they were
rips.
fucking
Yeah.
But it's Paul Dano, Seth Rogen, Pete Davidson, and Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the trailer, I was like, holy fuck. And Dano, he's
the best.
He's so like small and so good at small stuff.
He is our like Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's like the younger.
Oh, that's a really good call.
He
So
just
good.
he just can do everything. He can be the Riddler. He can be a dickwad in this.
And Pete is
Pete.
He's doing Pete.
Pete does Pete
Pete does
perfectly.
Pete the best.
Pete does
No one's doing Pete better than Pete.
Yeah.
Pete's Pete, and right there he's Pete.
I always love when you see Pete in movies because you go, yeah, he just wore that there.
Yeah. He's like,
just-
oh no, I don't feel
He's
like
like,
changing.
I don't know. These kicks are pretty sick. Do you want me to change them, or I could just put them on again?
It is true though. He's gotten away with that. Like just being him the most. That's gotten him the furthest.
It's honestly for a lot of us it's a good lesson of just like be yourself more.
Yeah, it's not gonna. Why change? But also, I was explaining that to my little sister about how she's saying, oh, so and so. It wasn't in reference to him, but it was like, oh, that guy always does that in whenever I see him. And it's like, yeah, that's because they do the best at that thing. Why would they shift?
I saw that Ricky Gervais said that years ago when he was like really blowing up after The Office and all this shit, and he was like getting all those movies and stuff. He was like, sometimes I see people and he's like, people criticize me. They say you do the same thing. He goes, But sometimes I prefer someone that does the same thing incredibly versus a lot of things okay.
Yeah, right.
He's like, so I'm doing one thing, but I do it the best.
Yeah, instead of jack of all trades, master of none. You might as well just do the thing that you're the fucking thing.
When I see Danny McBride, I want to see him Danny McBride.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Will Ferrell has always been Will Ferrell. Whether you like it or not, he stayed Will for 25 fucking years.
He made George Bush lovable.
Yeah, dude.
You like saw George W. Bush and you're like, well, I like, in my mind, it's the Will Ferrell version.
Same thing. Well, same thing. Growing up in Chicago, Harry Carey. Like we knew Harry Carey as kids, but when Will Ferrell did it, it was like I almost remember Will Ferrell more than I remember Harry Carey.
Yeah, you remember that?
Which is crazy.
Impression of him.
Who I think one time flirted with my mom.
Harry Carey did?
Yeah, at
Really?
a bar. Yeah, flirted with my mom, and I think I might be
That's so good.
Harry's boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could give your boy a baseball, but it's gonna cost you. And your mom's like, "Oh, I understand."
What's up with the little redhead?
Oh.